Today I'm going to attempt to do an exhaust mod on the Echo CS590. I had this all for a couple of years, and I just want to do a little research and see what that screw does in the front. This all is bone stock, and there's two other screws it looks like in the back. I'm going to use a T27 Torx drive and take that off and see what we get. Okay, I took the front screw out there, and when I run the saw, exhaust does come through the screw hole, but not through the two ports. So I'm going to continue to take apart the exhaust. I was having difficulty removing this bolt and this bolt, so I removed the top. And to remove the top, you have to take off the spark plug boot and get three screws. You have one here, which corresponds to there. You have one there, which corresponds to there. And you have one there, which corresponds to there. Then that was off. So next, I think I'm going to take this off and then try to remove this piece to get rid of that screen. And it looks like there's a cork in it pretty much right there. Try to take that piece out. Alrighty. Okay, the next piece I had to take off was the cover. I had to take the cover off to get at this screw here to get the brake handle off, and also the opposite side brake handle screw there. So now it pretty much opens up the muffler. I'm going to start digging in. The four screws on top here were surprisingly in there. They're very easy to get out. Anyway, so here's what you got. The exhaust has to come up through this screen, and then it has to come through this little it's hard to focus on that, around this piece of metal here my thumb's touching, and then through that little crack, and then it has to come out here. So what I'm going to do is try to either eliminate this piece or at least try to get some more airflow around this piece. And I may or may not leave this screen in here, which also probably slows the air down a bit. And still, I'm very curious to these two big ports. It looks like that's what you want to get open, these two. I'm going to keep investigating. Okay, I was able to get these two bottom T27 screws out. However, I still cannot remove the muffler here. I had to use this air impact wrench to get those out. They were really in there, and sprayed some PV blaster on them. Anyway, I think I might give up on this because this all runs perfect. And I do not want to force anything in the saw. I would recommend doing this when your saw is brand new. Anyway, I'm still going to continue to try to mod that piece. I would highly recommend taking this screw out straight out of the box and get a little bit of exhaust out of there at least. And I will put it all back together. Alrighty. Oh, I just want to add before I forget, as tempting as it may seem to drill these holes out, I would not do that with the muffler on the saw because your piston is right behind there and you don't want to get any metal shavings in there. That would not be healthy for the saw. I was able to get the most of the back part out. There's two little spot welds that hold it together. One there and one there. Anyway, so it opened up quite a bit, and notice all the metal shavings. It's a must to get all those out. I may actually put the screen back for a while to make sure nothing goes back in. And you can see I wasn't able to get rid of this one hump, and I don't like that. So the air still has to get around that little hump. Anyway, that's that for now. But. Okay, final look at what I came up with. As you can see, it's pretty well butchered in there. I used some drill bits and some pliers and a little grinder. Anyway, if you did take it apart on those two little spot welds, you could probably have better access of removing that lip there. So you can see I wasn't fully successful removing that lip. I did remove the bottom piece that changed it, so it's going to open it up. I think I've decided to maybe keep the screen off. I blew it out with the compressor, and it's pretty clean in there. Not the exhaust, I blew out this piece. I ran the saw for a minute with the top piece, and boy, it's loud. Anyway, so that's it. I wasn't able to get the exhaust off. Again, I recommend doing this. Saw's a couple years old, 2 or 3 years old. I was able to get that off quite easily. This screw here is a no-brainer. And it's just time to put it back together. Already take it. If someone does have some ideas on how to get this off, if there's a way to post them on the YouTube, please do. Oh, there's also another video of a guy who does this that I watched. That's a little better. Bye. Oh, one last note. This is for Echo. It looks like the saw is designed to be modified, so that's nice. But if Echo left some sort of instructions on how to do it or whatnot, so for example, this Honda here had a baffle and a screw that just popped right out. It was sort of made to be modified. It also had removable pieces for more air in the intake. It also had a Honda gives a manual on how to cut the top of the airbox off for more airflow. Anyway, that's just a note. If anyone from Echo is watching, certainly would appreciate some ideas on how to make the saw run a little better. Bye. Okay, now for the fun part. I got the saw all back together. I have the 20-inch bar on here. And it's a fairly sharp chain. It's not new, but it's been sharpened. Well, it's hard for me to tell because it's a new chain, and I just cut up a lot of this wood with the old chain. But man, it still runs great, and it seems to do better. Okay.